Okay, how do you bring a judge back to your oath of office? Well, you remind them of it. Now, I've now reached a few screens which I'm going to some extent skip through, because certain things have happened in the last few weeks which mean that we've gone past these stages. We've taken steps past them. So I'm just going to probably click onto the next screen. I mean, the answer is still right. The first answer is still right. Oh, sorry, the second bit's still right. But how do you bring a judge back to their oath of office? By reminding them of it, by asking up front before answering any questions whatsoever, are you prepared to act under your oath of office at this time? The reason is because I want to explain the judge's oaths of office. A judge takes two. A magistrate only takes the second one. It's exactly the same. And where it's got here, that blank, if it was a judge's office, it would say judge. If it was a magistrate, it would say magistrate. But apart from that, it's the same. But the judge takes two. He takes the first one. I do swear by Almighty God that I will be faithful and bear true allegiance to Her Majesty Queen Elizabeth II, her heirs and successors, according to law. Not according to legal, according to law. Because that is an oath based on the common law. And the second one, it also means that if he's bearing true allegiance to Queen Elizabeth II, he's bound by the Queen's coronation oath. Now, what was the coronation? What was the coronation? This person, well, according to David Icke, this reptile, walked into Westminster Abbey in 1953 as the eldest daughter of the late king. A guy walked around in a kind of a Father Christmas outfit and asked her questions, and she solemnly swore to do some things, and then she walked out the sovereign Queen of England. It was actually a binding contract that was established between this reptile and the British people, where we gave her certain royal prerogatives, and in return we expected her to protect us, using her position as sovereign to protect us. Now, as we know, she has reneged on every promise she ever made. That's a question for another day. But the fact is, she did swear it under God, so help me God. So when a judge swears an oath to her, through that, he's swearing an oath under God, so help me God. Oh, here's an interesting one, isn't it? Going off a slight tangent. General election. Lots of people put their name down as candidates for constituencies, and they go around, kissing babies' bums and glad handing and all that kind of thing, and promising the earth to the people in the constituency. And then come polling day, people troop down the pissing rain and put their X against the candidate of their choice. And in the evening, some very dedicated people collect up all the ballot boxes, and very dedicated people count them to try and get an accurate count. And the person who's got the most votes is declared the the member for that constituency by the returning officer. Okay? All right, fine, so far. Then comes the opening of Parliament, and the member goes down to London for the opening of Parliament. And what's the first thing he does? Apart from a few tots in the bar and stuff. What's the first thing he does? He swears allegiance to all those poor sods who went down in the pissing rain and put the X against his name. No, he doesn't. He swears allegiance to the Queen. Sod those people that he promised the earth to. He swears allegiance to the Queen. He can't take his seat in the House of Commons until he has sworn allegiance to the Queen. So from then on, Whose business is he doing as he sits in the House of Commons? Is he doing the business of the constituents, or is he doing the business of the Queen? What do you think? Does that explain quite a lot? I think it does. Coming back to the second oath, which is the most important one, and this is the same for magistrates. I do swear by Almighty God that I will well and truly serve our Sovereign Lady Queen Elizabeth II in the office of Judge Magistrate. And I will do right to all manner of people, after the laws and usages of this realm, without fear or favour, affectation of ill will. Now, I told you earlier on that under legal, the word person could be a corporation. And you might say, well, people, of course, is the plural. No, it's not. The plural of person is persons. It's just person with an S on the end. Okay? And people hasn't been bastardised by legalese. So people means what you think it means. That's you lot. And me lot. So when that judge is swearing to do right by all manner of people, that magistrate is to do right by all manner of people, he is not saying he will do all right by, Scottish Power or N Power or, West Wales Water or whatever, utility company or whatever local council. He is supposed to do all right by you. He said so, which is why it's very important that he is acting under his oath of office when he makes any decision, because he should make it in your favour, because he is sworn to do all right to all manner of people, and I suggest you are all manner of people sitting here. He's bound to do right by humans. But the problem is very simple, that when you get to a court, they do all right by the utility company or the local council, because they're not acting under their oath of office at the time. They take an oath to become a judge or to become a magistrate, but they are, when they're out on the golf course, they're not under their oath of office. When they're in the supermarket, they're not under their oath of office. They're only supposed to be under their oath of office in the context of a court. As soon as they sit in court at the top, above everybody else, then they are supposed to take on what that oath says. But if they don't do that, that's how they make the decisions that they make. And rubber stamp all kinds of crap, no matter what you may say to them. Judges don't even hear civil disputes in courtrooms. Civil disputes, that's the vast majority of hearings, for example, mortgage hearings or banks claiming you haven't paid an overdraft or whatever. They take place in the smallest room, which is actually the judge's chamber that they rent for the day. But they don't tell you that. Everybody will call it a court. The usher sitting outside will talk about, oh, you need to go into court now. Deception, deception, deception. Even the court rules, and there are court rules, but not that they apply them anyway, even in a court, but whatever, there are court rules. They don't apply in a judge's chambers because a table at McDonald's will do just as well. Neither side is required to take an oath, which would have to happen in a court. All evidence presented against you is hearsay, and the so-called judge will accept it, even if it is illegible. I have seen a piece of paper handed to a judge. It was so badly photocopied, it looked like rain. Just dashes all the way down. Can you read this then? Oh yes, I can read that. We did miss a trick because we should have said, well, read some of it then. But Okay, magistrates are saying, back to the oath of office. I'm going to skip through a lot of those. That is the same as the second judge's oath, etc. Now, I want to just stop on this one. Oaths, be very careful, don't be fobbed off. Asking a judge or magistrate if they have taken an oath is absurd. Of course they have. By the way, sorry, this business about oaths of office is the most crucial thing to do with courts. And everything that's happened in the last few weeks has hung on it. And I'm hoping to get to explain that. Asking a judge or magistrate if they have taken an oath is absurd. Of course they have. Asking the court service if judges and magistrates take oaths is absurd. Of course they do. To say of course they do is one of the major ways they like to use in order to fob you off. Because those are not the questions. The question is, are they acting under it at the time of the hearing, of listening to you, of considering and making an order? That's the question. Very simply because if they were, they could never do what they intend to do and do every single time, namely to find in favour of a mindless, soulless, corrupt, e.g. social services, compassionless, incompetent, often to the point of imbecilic, e.g. Department of Work and Pensions, Department of the Environment, DVLA, etc. Corporation, which these people are, these departments are just corporations, based entirely on computerised hearsay evidence. And garbage out is garbage in is the first law of computing. That's a law. You put garbage in, it will come out garbage. That same garbage will come out. The computer doesn't. If you put a lie in, the lie will come out. The computer doesn't convert it to the truth. We'll find in favour of that as opposed to first-hand knowledge directly from the mind recall of a human being who knows exactly what happened and will swear to it on penalty of perjury. You can try as much as you like offering them first-hand knowledge under penalty of perjury, and they don't want to know. All they want to do is to find in favour of the mindless, soulless, corrupt corporation. Fact.